Hello, I'm Tim Jones, and welcome to another edition of View from the Bleachers. Okay, let me make this perfectly clear. I'll be the first person to tell you I'm far from perfect. Oh, okay, maybe the second person, because technically my wife would be the first. In my 7 decades on this planet, I've said and done plenty of things that, well, have annoyed a lot of people. In fact, my kids would argue this aspect of my personality is one of my defining character traits. But I'm not a bad guy. That is, I didn't think I was, until I was informed of this fact by literally thousands of people from all over the country in the space of a single day. That's right, and while I can, on occasion, tend to, well, fabricate things in my storytelling, not this time. I'm not making any of this up. So why is everybody so furious with me? I have no idea. Maybe it's because I said happy holidays to someone instead of wishing them a Merry Christmas. Or maybe it's because people are sick of me constantly posting videos of our cute foster kittens doing stupid things on Facebook. But in my defense, kitten videos are simply irresistible. Come on, buddy, you have to admit, these little furballs are just so doggone adorable when they bat at a twist tie or wrestle for a bottle cap. Or maybe the reason they're all furious with me is because, well, not too long ago, I published a book called I'm So Sick of White Guys. Yeah, this. It featured a cover illustration of President Trump depicted as a puppet of Russian President Vladimir Putin. Yeah, now that I think about it, I'm thinking that just might be what stirred the hornet's nest. But I have to say, I don't get it. It's just a humor book, specifically a coloring book with satirical renderings of prominent white guys like President Trump and his minions, with snarky commentary about how they are misusing their power to ruin this country for the rest of us. Oh, interesting. You might find this interesting too. According to Google Analytics, a tool that analyzes data about this particular YouTube site, I just lost 15 YouTube subscribers after they watched the previous 30 seconds of commentary. Well, I'll explain how I became one of the most despised people in America within a matter of hours. On the other side. Welcome back. If you don't hate me yet, give it time. I'm just getting started. By the end of this video, or whenever you ultimately bail out, I may infuriate you the way I apparently pissed off hundreds of thousands of other red-blooded, red baseball cap-wearing Americans. So here's what's happened. I co-authored this book with a fellow humor writer who I'll call Sven Morgenstern to protect him and his family from death threats. This is a photo of my co-author, Sven. Okay, Sven is not comfortable with his actual face being seen right now, and I can't say that I blame him. Anyway, we wanted to highlight white male privilege in America, taking to task what we perceive to be corruption by President Trump and members of his administration. Just got another notification. Interesting. I just checked my Google Analytics again, and it appears that, I've lost another 9 subscribers with that previous sentence. The book is called I'm So Sick of White Guys, but Sven and I are both, wait for it, white guys. That's right. And all these years, my wife thought I was a Korean. Between all the sexual harassment and the self-dealing with trillions and tax cuts for the rich, for starters, even white guys have gotten sick of white guys. Well, that was the ironic concept behind our book. Well, Sven and I were going along just fine, minding our own business, when a regional newspaper interviewed Sven about the book, which, in case I failed to mention it, is called I'm So Sick of White Guys. You see, I read somewhere that repeated exposure is the key to getting people to buy something. Well, it was just a breezy piece about how we collaborated on the book. That innocuous article was picked up by a slightly larger newspaper, USA Today. Their website's homepage featured a prominent teaser to the article about our book, which, in case you forgot, is called I Am So Sick of White Guys. The article was posted at 3:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, Here's a screenshot. Now, you see the mention in the top right of the USA Today Online Edition's homepage, or next to that orange arrow that I added. Within minutes, the enraged invectives came flooding in. It all happened so fast. Stupid, lame, an idiot were just a few of the insults hurled at me. And those were just from my friends. The comments from complete strangers turned out to be way more unhinged. But it wasn't until 3:52 p.m., a full 7 minutes later, that I received my first thinly veiled death threat. You better stop now if you know what's good for you. I know where you live. And I'm not making this up. Now, I don't want to brag, but this was my first ever actual death threat. I guess that means I'm in the show now, eh? And to that wingnut who posted it, I dare you to find me and come get me. I'm not afraid of you. My address is 221 Baker Street, London. That's actually the address of Sherlock Holmes. I'm not actually going to give out my real address. I may be clueless, but I'm not an idiot. So anyway, here is just a tiny sampling of some of the literally hundreds of responses to the article about my book, some of which contained, well, quite frankly, nearly perfect grammar and fairly accurate spelling. I generally don't advocate suicide, but would you kindly rid the world of your presence, you morally disgusting pig? You are an offensive human being, and you disgust me. And here's another one. You are a racist asshole. I hate your book. You are racist against whites. You, well, F-face. I'll leave it at that. You're just a whiner because your party lost the election. Get over it, you wimpy loser. You know, my detractors did not limit their venting to the USA Today website. Oh no, they were just getting started. The angry mob quickly stormed the castle at Amazon and posted even more hostile reviews about me being a racist, a moron, a traitor to my country, and bad at drawing, and giving my book only 1 star out of 5 possible stars. Here's an actual unretouched photo of the angry crowd that stormed Amazon's headquarters to angrily protest my book. As far as mobs go, I have to say they were surprisingly well dressed. I wonder if they bought their torches at Amazon.com. I'll never know. Now, as for the dozens and dozens of livid 1-star Amazon reviews my book received within minutes of the article being published, I would just like to point out that none of these literary critics had actually purchased my book, nor read a single page of it. All they had seen was the book's cover in the article, which, well, clearly made fun of Trump and suggested that he was a puppet of Putin. But that was enough to conclude that I am a nefarious, morally bankrupt, and dangerous subversive who hates kittens and must be stopped in order to make America great again. But I have to say in my defense, I actually love kittens. Honest. We're fostering 5 of them right now. See? I love kittens and cats of all types, even when their claws destroy my favorite gym shorts. Well, for what it's worth, all of the actual Amazon.com verified purchasers gave me and my book 5 stars. So within an hour, the USA Today piece had been picked up by several of the most high-traffic alt-right websites, including Breitbart, The Drudge Report, and The Stormfront, a notorious white supremacist website whose logo reads White Pride Worldwide. It seems like every racist was happy to share what they thought of me and my book. Sadly, not one of them thought my book was worthy of a Pulitzer Prize. Very disappointing. Talk about making enemies in a hurry. Within 3 hours, I was voted one of the vilest, most hated, loathsome creatures ever to roam America. That's right. A liberal. Then again, perhaps the reason everybody is so pissed at me was due to my choice of typeface font. I went with Comic Sans. Yeah, that probably was a mistake. I should have gone with something more dignified, like Helvetica or Arial. What was I thinking choosing Comic Sans? Jeez. Well, so I have learned my lesson. If you want to get thousands of people to hate you, just publish a book about politics. That's why, after long and thoughtful deliberation, I decided never to write about politics ever again. No sirree. I'm doing a complete turnaround with my next book, one that's sure to be far less controversial and shouldn't offend anybody. It's a how-to guide called A Husband's Guide to Teaching Your Delicate Wife How to Drive. The perfect gift for that special someone for Christmas. Well, that's the view from the bleachers. I must be going. I'm in the middle of an important Google search. How to enter the Witness Protection Program.